First step on our journey to mastering Ansible is to get Ansible installed so that we can execute it. I've pulled up here docs.ansible.com and gone to the installation page. There are a variety of ways that you can get Ansible installed. Ansible is a Python application, so it's available via pip, which is basically a universal installed regardless of which distribution you're using. If you're using a Linux host as your control machine, which we are in our demo environment here, there are packages available through package repositories, and I would recommend using the package repository if it's available for your distribution. If you're not using Ubuntu in your environment, you can see that there's some other options here, yum, portage, package, depending on which distribution you're using. I'm going to jump down to the Ubuntu section here and install via apt. Here I have an SSH session to my control machine, which is a fresh Ubuntu install. The only changes I've made so far are just setting up the SSH relationships and the users so that I can log into my hosts. So let's get started with the installation. Ubuntu build is available via a PPA, and this PPA is managed by the company behind Ansible, so that means we'll get a nice up-to-date version of Ansible that tracks with the latest development. First step in using a PPA is to install Software Properties Common. And this gives us access to the apt-add repository command that we can then use to configure the PPA. In older versions of Ubuntu, instead of Software Properties Common, you would use Python Software Properties, so you can see in this note in the documentation. And now that that's installed, we have access to apt-add repository, and we'll provide the Ansible PPA path. Okay. Next step is to run an apt-get update, which queries our new repository, our new PPA, and pulls down all the metadata for our Ansible packages. And at this point, we can do apt-get install Ansible. Yes. So now that Ansible is installed, let's check that we have access to the Ansible command line tool. And we do. We'll also need to use Ansible Playbook and the Ansible Galaxy tool. Now that Ansible is installed, we'll spend some time laying a foundation for connecting and managing hosts before we go on to executing tasks and writing playbooks.